11 Sports with Drew Shirley.
Hey, it's Friday, and in case you've been trapped under something heavy or for some strange reason you haven't been watching 11 Sports this week, we have more playoff football tonight here in the Grand Valley. Fruita Monument will clash with Lewis Palmer, the champion of the Pikes Peak Conference, tonight at Stoker Stadium. The Wildcats, of course, are hoping to make their second trip to the 4A championship game in 3 years, but first, they must get past the Rangers, whose only loss of the season was to Grand Junction. Kickoff is set for 7 o'clock tonight out at Stoker. We'll have all the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this game tonight at 10 on the Friday Football Blitz. Tomorrow, the Palisade Bulldogs will play their second round.
Conference player, and Kyle's a sophomore, so he knew Travis was going to get his carries, and Kyle's done a great job when he got his. Sometimes it's been 10 times a game, other times it's been more, but he's taken advantage of his touches also.
Palisade High School sits in the shadows of Mount Garfield here at the east end of the Grand Valley. But this year, a senior and a sophomore, Travis Bounds and Kyle Britton, have taken the Bulldogs out of the shadows and into the sunlight as one of the best teams in the state. By the way, Bounds and Britton both also start for a hard-hitting Bulldog defense. Bounds kicks field goals and extra points, and Britton returns kickoffs and punts. Where would the Bulldogs be without Bounds and Britton?
I don't even want to think about that. We definitely wouldn't be playing football right now.
The Killer Bees and the Bulldogs face a very tough test on the road tomorrow at 1 o'clock against the 11-0 Inglewood Pirates. It's the first time in 5 years Palisade has advanced to the second round of the State 3A playoffs.
Eleven Sports with Drew Shirley.
We have Saturday playoff football today from the Front Range between the Palisade Bulldogs and the undefeated Inglewood Pirates. Inglewood strikes first. Brian Englehart hits Joe Navarro for the touchdown. The Pirates lead 7-0, but Palisade comes right back. Dustin Harris on the keeper. He scrambles into the end zone. The ball comes loose, but it's a touchdown. We are tied at 7 apiece. It's 14-10 Palisade in the second half, and Harris works his magic again. In from the 30, one of 3 touchdowns on the day for Dustin Harris, and it's 21-10 Palisade. Pirates trying to make a comeback. Navarro throws, and there is Mason Stauffer with another big interception. Palisade takes over on the turnover, and the Palisade Bulldogs are in the 3A semifinals. They stunned the 11-0 Pirates 21-10 on the road to advance to the next round of the playoffs. It is a huge win for the Bulldog program. Next up for Palisade is Pueblo County, a 45-42 winner over Northridge today. The semifinal game between Pueblo County and Palisade will be at Stoker Stadium next weekend. Day and time to be announced. 2 years ago, the Fruita Monument Wildcats came within a whistle to win championships. In advancing to the state semifinals, Fruita Monument allowed just 17 points in 2 games. And last Saturday, Palisade held undefeated Inglewood to 10 points, including none in the second half. Tonight on 11 Sports, we pay tribute to the hard-nosed defense of the Cats and the Dogs, thanks to the video and audio stylings of Sean Quintana. Hit it, Q. Oh, the ill behavior will continue out at Stoker Stadium tomorrow at 1 o'clock. It'll be Palisade and Pueblo County in the 3A semifinal, while over on the Front Range, the boys in blue and silver go golden against the Demons. We'll have highlights of both games tomorrow on 11 Sports. A couple of quick basketball. I've seen a lot of football games in my day, but today's game was one of the best I've ever seen. When we come back, extensive highlights of the classic between Pueblo County and Palisade. You don't want to miss sports. It's up next.
11 Sports with Drew Shirley.
It's the 3A football semifinals today at Stoker Stadium. Palisade home against Pueblo County. Third play from scrimmage, Dustin Harris is looking for Kyle Britton, and he takes a big hit by Bobby Powers. Britton would hurt his ribs on the play. That would become a factor later, but on the next possession, Britton looks okay. He springs outside and then dives to the 3-yard line. First and goal for the Bulldogs. That sets up Mr. Travis Bounds in for the score, and it's 7-0 Palisade. He would be on his way to a huge day. Pueblo County comes right back. Roger Martinez on the reverse. He dives across the pylon, and it's 7-6. Palisade after the extra point is no good, but here comes Mr. Travis Bounds right into your living room again. 37 yards on the touchdown, 14-6 Bulldogs. We're just getting started, folks. The Hornets, Corey Sperry, the big 6'6 quarterback. He's got Jeremy Pilara, but look at the crushing hit from Harris and Gary Keenan. Chance Phelps recovers, Palisade takes over, and then as the second quarter begins, it's Travis Bounds again. 45 more yards, and it's 21-6 Palisade. But then Sperry comes right back. He pump fakes, and he's looking for Darrell Fisher down the far sideline. 45 yards later, it's 21-14 after the two-point conversion. And after a Palisade punt, Martinez on that same little reverse, and it has the same result. Another touchdown for Martinez. 21-21, we are tied at halftime. Kyle Britton would not play in the second half with that rib injury, but Corey Sperry would, scrambling up all the way to the 6-yard line. The Hornets would punch it in, and they would take their first lead of the game, 28-21. Fourth down now, and it's a direct snap to Travis Bounds, and he's got the first down and more. And now it's the first play of the fourth quarter. Harris piles in from the 6, and we're tied once again at 28. Sperry comes right back. He's looking for the end zone. The long bomb, but Pilara can't come down with it. Justin Barr would miss a 51-yard field goal. Palisade would take over, but on their first play, Harris fumbles. The Hornets recover on the Palisade 15. They are in business, but the defense holds. On third down, Sperry flushed from the pocket, and Palisade will bring him down short of the first down. Barr would miss another field goal, this time from 35 yards. And now Travis Bounds takes the screen and takes command. The big block from Victor Green right there springs Bounds on a 75-yard touchdown play. The fourth score of the day for Bounds. Palisade is back on top, 35-28. Hornets trying to come back, but Sperry is picked off by Tyler Barnes. Yet another defensive gem for this strong Bulldogs D. And the Bulldogs trying to put it away, and Dustin Harris does just that. The quarterback keeper, Harris, rolls into the end zone, 34 yards on the touchdown. It's 42-28 Palisade, and let the celebration begin. The Bulldogs advance to the 3A championship game. Once again, the Dogs fell behind in the second half, and once again, they rallied to win this incredible semifinal matchup.
The thing about our kids is that when they're behind, when their backs are against the walls, when they play the hardest, they did it last week when we were behind, they did it this week when we were behind. We're down 28-21, and I wasn't sure what was going to happen, and they just went right back out there and got after it. And Travis Bounds is the man.
It's probably the best feeling in the world right now. I mean, as far as everything's going right now, I mean, everybody's counting us out, and I mean, look where we're at today. So, I mean, we have a great thing going. We're going to see how far we can go with it.
That's championship.
All right, Kyle Britton cracked a rib on that third play from scrimmage. He is questionable for next weekend's state championship game against Florence. The Huskies are 12-1 after today's 28-12 win over Fountain Fort Carson. Florence's only loss this season came against Alamosa. which Palisade defeated 2 weeks ago in the first round of the playoffs. And now the Dogs will play for their 5th state title next Saturday at Florence High School on the Front Range. Congratulations to both of them, and congratulations to the Palisade Bulldogs. What a win today. Back and forth they went all day long. It was a pleasure to be out there on the sidelines, and I know everybody's excited for Todd K-Spear and his boys. We hope they can bring it home next week.
That's a wonderful day in sports. Drew Shirley in sports. We'll be back after these messages.
Let's play.
And now, Sports 8 End Zone with Jim Davis and Brandon Blocker.
Hello, everyone, and thanks for joining us for this season-ending edition of the Sports 8 End Zone. I'm Brandon Blocker, and on my right is the man who always seems to be in the zone, Jim Davis. And Jim, what a surprisingly good season we have at Grand Valley football. I mean, I don't know about you, but this really caught me by surprise, all these teams playing for a state title.
Yeah, I certainly thought Fruita had a chance to go at least to the semifinals, and I also thought that Palisade had a chance to be a good playoff team, maybe not make as deep a run as they have because they're so young. But the thing that's been so surprising is how Palisade, with this young football team, has responded. I mentioned this before. They have played like veterans for Fruita Monument. A great season, but certainly not the way they wanted to see things into the semifinals. Golden was a much better team than I think Fruita thought they might be heading into that contest.
Always important. We have to take our first time out here on the End Zone, but when we come back, Palisade used to be the team to beat in the late 90s, but the Bulldogs they're back in the new millennium. Highlights of their state semifinals are up next, and later, well, we'll take a look ahead to next season. We're back after this quick break. After knocking off the 8th and 2nd ranked teams in Class 3A football, Palisade had the pleasure of hosting 4th ranked Pueblo County this past Saturday, a team which they beat twice this summer in a tournament, but this was for a trip to the title game. Dogs ready to get their game on. Palisade comes out and they're red hot. Kyle Britton off the right side running for 26 yards on the play, and he had 47.5, and that made it 7-zip. Bulldogs on top as Travis Bounds polishes off that drive. But hold on, Pueblo County's a good team. They get right back into this thing. Roger Martinez from 10 yards out scores, but no extra points, so it's 7-6. Bulldogs still on top. The Bulldogs take off and they rattle off a straight 14 points. Here we go, Travis Bounds, huge game. This is a 27-yard TD, and they get the ball back, and then they just feed it to number 23 again. Bounds, third of the half to make it 21-6. But Pueblo County, though, this Hornet team came to play. Corey Sperry lofts it up, and Darrell Fisher finds it. Goes fishing, and he reels in a touchdown, 45-yard variety to make it 21-14 after the 2-point conversion. And then they're not done there. Sperry gives it to Roger Martinez, and Martinez is going to slip into the end zone, and we are tied up at 21 at the half, 21 all. But coming out in the second half, it's Pueblo County who gets on top, courtesy of Bobby Powers. But then here comes the Bulldogs. Fourth quarter magic. 21 unanswered points, and Travis Bounds, well, he bounds them into victory. The big run, and then Dustin Harris is going to polish this thing off and tie it up at 28 all. Next dog possession, why not? Dustin Harris hitting Travis Bounds, and 75 yards later, he's heading to the promised land. Travis Bounds had himself a ball game, Jim. This guy is the real deal.
#1 rusher in the state in the 3A classification, and had a great day on the ground, and of course got that big pass that really put things away for the Bulldogs.
Interception sealed the deal for Palisade. The final, they're going to the state championship. What a good win. 42-28 Bounds. Wow. 27 carries, 219 yards, and 4 touchdowns. One of those was that 75-yard reception that you saw. Dustin Harris, another solid day. Doesn't get his team in trouble. That is important heading into the playoffs. 4 for 7, 147 yards passing, 3 TDs, 2 rushing, 1 passing. Next up, well, the only game left to play. The state championship at 7th-ranked Florence at 1 p.m. But meanwhile, Palisade, well, they were pretty pleased with their semifinal performance.
We're excited. We're going to play hard this week, practice hard, practice on Thanksgiving Day, which is a great thing. And we're going to play hard Saturday, whoever reverses.
There was a couple times where I was just sitting back watching our kids and just almost in awe the way they were playing. I mean, they're just guys banged up and bruised, and they were still bringing it. I'm just so proud of them.
Now, Jim, I know it's Turkey Day this Thursday, but man, Palisade has got you and I and about everyone else eating a whole big plate of of Crow. This Bulldog team, I mean, they're the biggest surprise of the year, hands down.
Young football team that has really, I think, far exceeded Todd Casper's expectations, John Arledge's expectations. They've done a wonderful job this year of putting together this great playoff run. Kyle Britton has stepped up and played great. We knew Travis Bounds would have a big year. But the X factor's really been Dustin Harris. How good was he going to play at the quarterback spot? Well, we have found out. He's played extremely well, darn good. He's had a great season at the quarterback position for Todd Casper.
Yeah, I've got some of that crow in my teeth. I can't even talk out here, but I can tell you, I got a little something. But I can tell you this: Dustin Harris has been impressive, especially in the postseason. Solid performance where he picked up the team against Inglewood. He does enough in the semifinals, 3 touchdowns. Lets Travis Bounds take back over. I mean, really, this is a balanced Bulldog team.
And how about what he does on defense too? I mean, we haven't given Dustin Harris enough credit for what he does for the Bulldogs on the defensive side of the football. Likewise for Travis Bounds. Part of the reason Palisade has been so successful in the playoffs, their defense has started to come around for John Arledge. They have really responded. The Inglewood game, they were sensational. This game, they kind of had to hold on for dear life defensively against a very good Pueblo County football team. But now they get a chance to meet Florence, a rematch of the '96 state championship game.
Yeah.
And the Florence fans have been wanting this. When they found out the Palisade was the winner on Saturday against Pueblo County, their fans went nuts. They've been wanting a rematch since '96.
Oh, one can only imagine how good that game's going to be. We have reached halftime here on the End Zone, but we are far from half over. Up next on the program, our third teammate, Frank Martin, is live at Palisade with some very happy Bulldogs. And later, Jim and I will peer into the 2003 crystal ball. We're back in a short minute and 30 seconds. Let's face it, the Bulldogs were supposed to be good in 2002, but they weren't supposed to be great. Someone obviously forgot to tell them that. Joining us now live from Palisade High School is Frank Martin. And Frankie, even Palisade has to be a little surprised at their season that they're having out there, huh?
I don't know if I'd use the word surprise, but of course they wanted to be here. Getting here was, of course, the toughest thing. And these two guys that are right here, they're not going to say they're surprised they're here. They're just happy that they're in the state title game. I'm joined by John Arledge, the defensive coordinator, and Travis Bounds, running back. Seems like we have Travis Bounds on here every week. Second installment of the Travis Bounds show. But anyways, first off, we're going to start with Coach. Coach, I got to ask you a question. First time since 1997, you guys are back in the state finals game. For the whole coaching staff, for the whole school, it's got to be just a happy feeling to be in that title game.
Yeah, I mean, it really is. I think it's something that stands out for our kids. I mean, they've worked really hard. Our staff has worked really hard. We got some great coaches on our staff, Coach Nissen, Carlo, and we just go on, Coach Rush. They all work hard. It's been great to work with Coach Casper, but yeah, our staff has worked hard, our kids have worked hard, and they just haven't put themselves above anything. Anything we're asked them to do, and just do it and work hard, and good things come to those who work hard.
One of the guys that's worked hard all season, I would imagine you would say, would be Travis. He starts for you on defense, also starts for Coach K. Spears' offense. Last week, what was it, over 300 yards of total offense. But I want to talk about 2 plays, and people at home, if you didn't get a chance to go out there. 4th and 10, this team's down 28-21 to Pueblo County. They snap the ball to Travis Bounds, and watch this move he puts on this kid right here. Gets the first down. They go on to score in the 4th quarter to tie the game. Travis, then you followed up with a big touchdown reception right here. I mean, what an awesome game, especially in the face of the fact that Kyle Britton had been lost in the halftime. You needed to step up, and you did.
Yeah, we were pretty exciting, you know, that big play. Snapped the ball directly to me. I mean, it was supposed to be a pass play, but I mean, it turned out everything opened up, so I thought I'd make something happen, and I did. So, and I had some good blocking, so it's kind of nice. And the big long flat pass, run 75 yards. Great play by Victor Green blocking for me. I mean, I can't take all the credit for that. The kid did good, and everybody else, so it's kind of nice.
You've done that all year. You've, shedded the criticism, or no, not the criticism, but you shedded some of the help that you've got to your offensive linemen, to the other players on the team. You got Dustin Harris. He's on a roll lately. It seems like everyone on your offense and defense is on a roll, coming up the big plays when they need it. You got one more big play game. You need Florence. How you guys feel going into that one?
We're pretty confident about that. I mean, we're going to come in. We're going to play hard, practice hard all week long. Figure things out, get some little adjustments set, and we're going to play hard on Saturday and come out on top, hopefully.
They say defense wins championships, so does that mean the pressure's on you? Because you got a pretty special guy at quarterback from Florence you got to stop.
I don't know. I mean, I hope it doesn't. I hope Todd scores 50 or 60 points, and then I won't have to worry about it. But overall, I think we just got to play tough. If we just don't lose our composure, and I'm a pretty emotional guy, I'm pretty mellow right here, but out there I'm kind of hard on those guys. And if we just keep our heads, we're going to be okay. And just play tough. I like our chances. I like our kids. I love coaching these guys and the guys I work with, and I can't say more.
Well, Brandon, they've got the history on their side, all these state titles on the walls all around us. They've got that, plus some good news. Looks like Kyle Britton's going to play coming up. And, of course, they're playing Florence, a team that's only lost one game this year. And guess who they lost it to? Alamosa, a team these guys beat in the second round.
Palisade continuing to work their way through that division. Thanks, guys. We have to pay a few more bills around here on the End Zone, but we still have a lot of show left. Coming up, we'll look ahead to 2003 season of Grand Valley football, and a little later on, it's the award portion of the program. Who will win the honor of Play and Hit of the Year? Stay tuned. The answers are coming up. The 2002 season exceeded all expectations, so what can we expect from 2003? Jim, let's start with Central, a team we expected to be the best team this year.
Yeah, a lot of talent in the Central team. They just didn't quite play up to their potential this year. They have Sherrod Roman coming back, and look for Sherrod to be one of the better backs in 4A. And Jeremy Rosales returns. He had a solid year statistically. Look for those two to lead an offense for Vern McGee. They could be a big threat in the Southwestern Conference. We'll just find out, though, how big the loss of Micah Dawson will be to this team as far as a receiving standpoint. But Matt Key returns. I think Matt Key could be a real big receiver for them at the wideout position.
Yeah, definitely. Grand Junction loses 16 seniors, including QB Andy Spyrig.
That's a big loss for this offense. Andy did a little bit of everything this year. He was also their kicker. They do have Jason Simonton coming back in the backfield along with Bear Martinez. Really, the strength of their offense as far as the returning players is that backfield. To see how that plays out for Sean Marsh next year.
Fruita loses 16 seniors as well, including Claffey and Kaminsky, but Ryer Gear, Taylor Catt, and Connor Lewis. Cats have a lot of key returners coming back.
That's right. Taylor Catt is, I think, perhaps the best receiver in the conference going into the 2003 season. Dangerous return man. We'll find out if Ryer Greer can step up and fill the shoes of Sean Claffey and step into those shoes. That's not an easy thing to do. Claffey had a huge season. And I think when you talk about Connor Lewis, you're talking about one of the best defensive players in the state. Was one of the leaders in sacks this year in 4A.
Definitely. We expected Palisade to be good in 2002, but how about 2003? Losing only 6 seniors, and even one of them is the leading rusher in 3A football. They got this guy, Kyle Britton.
Yeah, that's right. They lose Travis Bounds to graduation. I tell you what, Todd Casper is going to kill me. They're going to be your preseason pick to win the state championship next year. If they don't do it on Saturday, they should. I mean, with all the players they have coming back, why not for Palisade? Why not Palisade winning back-to-back state titles?
Yeah, why not?
I mean, really, I think everybody's pointing to next year as being the year they had really challenged for a state championship. But Travis Bounds and those seniors that are on this team have taken those young players. This has been a team that's really matured this year. Look for them to be really the team to beat next year.
I think so, too. Last but not least, Mason State, a young offensive line matures, a returning QB with a lot of game experience, and those good recruiting years start to pay off.
They only lose 5 seniors. They're big key players that they lose. But Jeff Maury got a lot of reps this year at the quarterback position. Dustin Phillips is an outstanding receiver. Charles Dukes, that offensive line comes back. Look for the Mavs to be a major threat for the RMAC championship.
I think so as well. Well, we have our last time out here on the 2002 Sports 8 End Zone, but don't head to the kitchen for a snack just yet. When we return from these messages, the votes have been tallied. Pregnant Chads and all your play and hit of the year are coming up. Plus, Jim's keys to winning the state championship are up next. Okay, but finally we have the play and hit of the year. The envelopes, please. Here's your play of the year. We told you it was pretty much going to be it, and it ended up being it. The Tyler Ryan catch, it's so good you have to see it twice. Unfortunately, he didn't get to play really that much the rest of the season because he got injured, but boy, he sure made his presence felt there. How about the hit of the year? Well, this one had to hurt just a little bit. Hit of the year goes to Miles Shear on GJ's Don Holmes. Don's feeling the heat, but the good news is that he just got right back up off of that hit, and they got into the playoffs. All right, Jim, there's only one game left to talk about. Palisade at Florence for all the marbles, 1996 rematch. Palisade bounds to a state title if they don't get, and help me out with the word.
Badarist.
Badarist.
As in the Badarist boys, that's Chris and Ty. They, of course, play for their dad, who's the head coach, Mark Badarist. Chris is the quarterback. Ty is the running back. It's a great 1-2 punch they had. They both had big games in their semifinal win to get into the state championship game. And, of course, Palisade bounds. That is in Mr. Travis Bounds, taking them to the state championship. And I think really the key to this football game is Dustin Harris. I think of what he can do offensively. Palisade, according to Miss Edna, is going to take the state championship.
38-28. I think so. They're working their way through that division. I think that Palisade is team of destiny. That will do it for the 2002 Sports at End Zone. We'd like to thank all our guests from this year and wish Palisade the best of luck this coming Saturday. It takes a lot of people to put this show together. As we leave you tonight, we'd like to thank them as well. For Jim Davis and Frank Martin, I'm Brandon Blocker. We'll see you next year here in the End Zone. Thank you.
It was a great year for the Palisade Bulldogs, and we'll have all the highlights of their game with Florence coming up. Plus, did you know that I was the choreographer for the Grambling Southern Happy?
11 Sports with Drew Shirley.
One game for the 3A state championship today between Palisade and Florence. In the second quarter, Clint Baderas rolls in from 29 yards out, and that makes it 19-7 Huskies. And on the two-point conversion, Clint's brother Ty takes it in, and it's 21-7. Palisade in trouble, but they come back behind Kyle Britton. 36 yards for number 36, and that would make it 21-14, but it would be 27-14 Florence in the fourth quarter. 4th and goal for the Huskies, and Baderas is looking into the end zone, but he has to throw it away, and the Dogs stay alive. Travis Bounds punches it in, and it's 27-21. And so Palisade will go for the onside kick with 5 minutes left. There's the ball, but it does not travel 10 yards. So Florence takes over, and they would just simply kill the clock. And this time, the comeback kids run out of miracles. Florence wins the state title despite another big game from Bounds, who has 155 yards on the ground and 2 more touchdowns. Dogs are certainly disappointed tonight, but they had an outstanding year. Congratulations to everybody involved with the Palisade program.
Huskies a rematch in 1996, tied at 7 on the first. Clint Baderas, the QB keeper, puts the Huskies up 13-7. The all-important extra point, no good. Would it haunt the Huskies? Next Florence possession, Baderas keeps it, and 20 yards later, he's going to make it 21-7 after the 2-point conversion. Palisade answers, though, courtesy of their junior, Kyle Britton. Dancing and prancing, 36 yards later, Britton's going to find pay dirt and cut this game down to 7, 21-14. Into the first half, though, Huskies bite right back. It's Baderas on 3rd down, connects with Mike Haynes, and this is kind of heinous for Bulldog fans. It made it 27-14 at the half. Second half, though, Palisade kept Florence off the board, but they couldn't do much with the ball themselves until this drive in the fourth, which finally cut it to 27-21 with 5:30 left in the game. But the Bulldogs would never get that ball back, as Florence would play a good game, a keep away. The final out in Florence, Palisade falls a little short in their first state championship loss. It's 27-21. Travis Bounds, he just kept it up. The number 1 rusher in 3A football, 20 times he had the ball, 152 yards and 2 scores. He did his fair share. First state title for Florence since 1993. But congrats to a great and very surprising season to the Palisade Bulldogs. And really, Todd Casper, after the game, could just praise his boys.
Right now. Well, it's tough. I mean, I thought our kids fought hard. We had an opportunity in the second half to get back in it, but we couldn't convert on offense. I was really proud of our defense in the second half. They shut out a good team in the second half, and of course Florence made a huge first down here at the end. You got to credit their kids. That's why they're the champs. They made a play when they had to. Without a doubt, it's a great group. I love the way they play. To get here with 7 seniors, only 4 of which start is a real credit to our kids and our coaches, and I'm proud of my team.
They'll be back next year. And I'm here to say Palisade had a great season. We have that story and a whole lot more at Computer Sports. It's coming up next.
Yeah, we had a state finalist. We had a state semifinalist. Yeah. We had a lot of great things that happened this fall. You don't want to miss sports. When we come back, we will take a musical look back at all the sights and sounds of football 2002. Hurry back and come see me, because sports is up next.
Sports with Drew Shirley.
Game yesterday, we were lucky enough to have football all the way through the month of November here in the Grand Valley. And what a season it was. Through the fall, we here at 11 Sports tried to capture as much of the action as we could. So now here's our own Sean Quintana with a musical look back at the sights and sounds of Grand Valley Football 2002. Hit it, Q.
That's a good piece, I'll tell you,
yeah.
Sean.
Quintana, that was a great time. We didn't get a state champion, but we have lots of memories, a lot of great times this football season, and I was happy to be part of it.
Good. Drew